Welcome to another episode of fellowindhaka, where I give you a recap on the previous week. Last week there were some holidays, and there was Christmas and the recent New Year. Those were some enjoyable times. I hope you all were able to ring in the New Year well and safe. I was able to enjoy this holiday season with some friends and some new people. Uh, on Christmas, I was able to rest and I spent time at a colleague's open house and dinner with them. So it was very nice to meet and exchange stories, and I started to think about where my life is going and what things I can do to help improve it. I've started thinking about getting more education because a master's is a good place to be, but should I get a doctorate or should I get a second master's? This is something that I've been thinking about recently, and I may have some new information coming, but I need to do a little more research. Something else of interest that happened last week were the exams for all of the students. On Monday, they had their exams on in the morning, I should say, for both 102 and 103, and I'm marking them still. I'm almost finished, but it was interesting to see how easy a lot of the material was as compared to what I've given in class. I'm a bit interested to see how all of them finish because I spent so much time focusing on writing and the skill of writing that I left a lot of the reading. I gave that online. The reading comprehension, we covered some of it in class, but I gave a lot more of that online for the purpose of giving self-instruction. I know that we did cover some reading strategies and some reading topics on how to read efficiently, but seeing some of the exams and the material that's there were grammar points that I didn't really focus on because my goal was to work on the overarching aspect of writing as opposed to focusing on dangling modifiers or things like that. One thing that shocked me was that in the intro class, one of the essay choices was to talk about their experience in the World Cup for a narrative writing, and that was something we had covered previously in class. So I was a bit shocked to see it, and I had an idea that many of the students would choose to write that option since we had done it in class and they had an opportunity to prepare for that. After the exams happened, I can look forward to the next term, and I did get confirmation that we're moving to a 2-semester term school year. So that means we're looking at about 36 weeks of instruction. The university doesn't know how they're going to break it up, but we are looking at 36 weeks for an academic school year. That'll be a lot of work. I don't know how we'll fit in time for holidays, vacations, or anything like that, but one good thing was that I did get to select which courses I'd like to teach for next term, and I opted for 3 intermediate courses, intermediate composition, and 2 public speaking courses. I'd like to really see how this goes because public speaking, part of it is confidence, another part is preparation, and I think that this would be a really good opportunity just to see what can be done here. And that's most of what I've been doing, grading in my free time, but I have been able to experience some culture since I've been here during the week, and that was going to a wedding, a Bangladeshi wedding, and the part that I was invited to was for the dinner. So I didn't see any of the ceremony where they did things, but at the wedding it was mostly a photo op, and we had a meal. And what I had was I had kachi biryani, which is mutton and rice. Not rice. Was it rice? Might have been rice. And rice. And that was pretty good. And tea. When I got there, I didn't know that it was going to be just a dinner, so I actually dressed up very nicely. But it was just a dinner, so I came, took photos of the scenery, ate, did very little networking, and didn't have a chance to do more, and then took a photo with the bride and groom after dinner, and then we left. It was an interesting experience just to see a lot of different people dressed up nicely for a special cause and event. And then when the new year happened, I kind of stayed at home, didn't do too much. I'm still working on grading, and with the weather getting colder, I'm debating on getting some heating for the house since there is no heat. It does get cold at night, but I've been coping with it. I'm debating still whether to actually get a space heater just for the next month, but I will see. That's still an option. But other than that, that's most of what's been going on. I'm looking forward to enjoying the break and some of the new things that will be happening during the next term. I'm excited to see the new classes and to start new projects like the outreach program for Ramakrishna, the book bus, which is an international book club that will be starting, I want to say this month or next month. I'll be taking part in that as well, and I do have at least one student from the intro composition class who showed some interest. I think it'll be very good for him to experience reading and getting more familiar with the language, because one thing that I've learned is that many students don't engage in the language outside of class. So by doing a book club, this will allow him an opportunity to engage with the language and see how the language can be used outside of class. That's all I have for you today, and stay tuned for another episode of Fellow in Dhaka.